What's up, y'all? What's poppin'? What's cracking? It's Diddy. We're about to react to this vid. Okay, this is regarding this whole Diddy trial. This gags me, all right? Listen, previously I was kind of over all of the Diddy talk. You know, it was like, all right, cool. We know he's a monster. We know that he's terrible. We know that, you know, the baby oil and all of this, the freak offs. You know, people just kept regurgitating the same exact talking points and the same info that we already knew. So I was just like, all right, cool. Let's move on from that. Hopefully he rots in jail. Let's move on. But no. This trial is really bringing to light these details. These details are wild. We'll see if she goes over it, but I've been keeping up. I've been watching Armand Wiggins, his lives about it. Y'all go support him and check out his lives because he be getting into the deets, okay? Because he goes to the actual trial, and he's been doing a great job covering what's going on with that. But oh my God. Let's see if she talk about it. If she don't, I'm gonna tell y'all the tea because it's crazy. It's crazy. We ain't heard these details before. Anyway, let's see what she got to say. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the impressive channel. P. Diddy's trial has started and I tell you the details so far have been crazy already. Diddy right now is facing some serious charges. The feds hit him with a racketeering charge, a trafficking charge, and also a charge relating to transportation to engage in prostitution. And if Diddy is found guilty on all these counts, he could be facing life in prison. Now, the prosecutors did show the footage where Diddy was beating down his ex-girlfriend Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel, and one of the security guards who intervened during that incident did give a testimony and said that Diddy was shouting at her and telling her not to leave. And he even said that
apparently this was during a freak off. She was trying to get away from the freak off child. It was a man in the hotel room that was, you know, a part of the freak off, and she was over it trying to leave, and that's why he had to hurry up and throw a towel on because he was naked. Okay, they was in there.
Diddy tried to bribe him, but he turned it down. He also said that Cassie had a bruised eye, but Diddy's defense team did kind of grill him, and they pointed out the fact that some of the stuff that he was saying was not written down in his initial incident report. Yeah. So there is some discrepancy there. Diddy's defense also downplayed the idea that Diddy bribed him because the security guard was complaining about the damages. So they basically argued that Diddy was offering money to pay for the damages, not to bribe him. Now, the prosecutors brought up a second witness, and this was kind of crazy. The second witness was a male escort named Daniel Phillip, and he said that he participated in multiple freak-off sessions with Diddy.
He said he was hitting Cassie raw because Diddy, I'm just saying because I don't know if she's going to talk about it. He was hitting Cassie raw, okay? And Diddy would like the escorts to skeet in Cassie or skeet on Cassie. And then he would go in the other room with Cassie, just Diddy and Cassie, and he would like to take the skeet and he would like her to rub it on him. The skeet of the escorts. He wanted their skeet on him. Like he would like jerk off to the skeet, like using it as lube, I guess. And then he wanted Cassie to rub their skeet on his nipples. I was like, oh my God, this is wild.
And Cassie. Now, if you remember in Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy, she claimed that Diddy would arrange for her to sleep with men while he sat and watched and jacked off in the corner. That is what they would call their freak-off sessions. And Cassie did also say that she was the one who would actually select the escorts upon Diddy's instruction. This escort in particular, Daniel Phillip, claimed that Cassie paid him. He showed up at the hotel. He thought that he was going to strip for a bachelorette party. Come to find out, he walked into a private freak-off party and Cassie offered money. And then she told him to rub her down with some baby oil, and they started getting nasty. And meanwhile, Diddy was in a corner with a bandana covering his face.
Obviously, none of this is a laughing situation. I'm not laughing at the situation at all, obviously. I'm laughing at this nigga dancing. Because where did you get this clip?
And he was just watching, sitting there, jacking off. Diddy would also record them and tell them to rub more baby oil on each other. And the escort did say that these freak-off encounters would last up to 10 hours and he would get paid up to $6,000 in cash. And rarely did they use condoms. Whew. So can you imagine the STDs? Whew. And one time, Cassie asked the escort to give her a golden shower. This is what the escort, Daniel Phillips, said. He said, Cassie was actually the one who asked me to urinate on her. She asked me if I ever done that before. She told me to do it. Apparently, I was doing it wrong because they both told me. Also, the escort, Daniel, did say that he did witness Diddy put his hands on Cassie.
So when they say he was doing it wrong, so apparently they were like, you're not supposed to just pee. Like, just, it's supposed to come out in, like, trickles. Sorry, this is just gross. Again, not laughing at the situation, but these details are just wild. I just don't know if anybody who does these things. But anyway, they're like, yeah, you're supposed to, like, I guess, like, pee a little. Like, pee little by little. Like, there's a proper way, I guess, to piss on somebody.
A number of times. One time, Diddy threw a glass bottle at her and dragged her by her hair into another room. And Daniel said she was screaming. He said, I could hear what sounded like him slapping her. She was screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then he heard Diddy tell Cassie, be when I tell you to come now, not later. Now, the escort, Daniel, did not intervene or call the police because he was scared. He was scared that if he did something, Diddy would take his life. And he didn't want that to happen. And also, he detailed another incident where Diddy was slapping Cassie behind the bedroom doors and she was screaming. And then he left the hotel room and Cassie jumped into Daniel's lap and she started crying. And then she started kissing him and their kissing turned into them having a full-blown intercourse. And then Diddy's freaky self pops up out of nowhere and starts watching them again. So that was a good bulk of the escort's testimony. It was very graphic. It was so graphic that Diddy's daughters had to leave the courtroom. And honestly, I don't know why Diddy would even want his children there. It's just not appropriate.
People keep... Hearing this appropriate. People keep saying that, but obviously, this is a common tactic that people will use because it makes them look, I guess, less guilty when they have their families there. If their families don't show up, the jury is way more likely to find them guilty because they're like, look, your family don't even support you. They're not even here. If they don't believe you and they don't support you and they don't fuck with you, then yeah, you must be this demon that everybody say you are. So it just makes them look worse when someone is on trial and their family isn't there to support them. So that is why they're all there. It helps with his case. But of course, just on a personal human level, it is fucked that they have to be in that courtroom and hear that. Like, that is sick. But to be clear, even if they were not there, we acting like everybody don't have social media, they would have heard about it eventually. Like, even if they tried to avoid, the T pages and whatnot, people would be adding them and saying, oh, your daddy pissed on people and he did this and I heard about this in trial. Like, there's no way you can escape the info anyway. So there's no way of actually protecting them from this, if we're being clear. And they just like, this is their daddy. They love their daddy. Regardless of whatever type of, monster he is, they love their dad. So they do want to be there to support him, I'm sure, as well.
And I don't agree with him trying to use his children to soften his image for the jury.
That part, that's what they're doing.
Now, I want to get into Cassie's testimony because this is, in fact, important. Now, Cassie was in a 10-year relationship with Diddy, and it was very volatile. Cassie actually sued Diddy in 2023 and accused him of SA, DV. She claims he drugged her, violated her, and did all types of heinous stuff to her. And Diddy did settle that $30 million lawsuit within a day. And of course, that made him look guilty because that was the fastest settlement in entertainment history. And this lawsuit actually led the feds to investigate Diddy and also arrest him. So Cassie's lawsuit and her testimony are very important. And like I mentioned before, Diddy is facing racketeering charges. And basically, he's been accused of running a criminal enterprise and using bribery and arson and trafficking and all sorts of crimes under his company. And also, he's facing another charge for sex trafficking and also transporting prostitutes across state lines to engage in sex. So that is illegal. And Cassie's testimony actually strengthens the prosecutor's case against Diddy because she admitted that Diddy had his staff provide her with drugs for their freak-offs. And some of these drugs were illegal, like ecstasy. That's not legal. Diddy would also use travel agents who worked for his company to arrange for escorts to fly in for the freak-offs. And their freak-offs would take place in different states and different countries. So they were flying prostitutes in. And that is actually illegal too. So Diddy was using his network of people and his enterprise to basically engage in crimes. And this is what's going to cook Diddy. Yes, he's violent and yes, he's freaky, but those are just descriptions of his character. However, it's these crimes that are going to have him locked up for life. Now, Cassie hit the stand and she broke down in tears, y'all. She talked about how she met Diddy. You know, she was an aspiring singer. She met him when she was 19 years old and he was in his mid-30s, close to 40. And of course, since she was signed to him, he had this power over her. He had power over her career and her choices. And he also lured her into having a romantic relationship with him. And Cassie admitted that she was in love with Diddy. She was enamored by his fun, outgoing personality. However, she didn't know that he had a dark, devious side. She said that he would frequently put his hands on her and he would leave injuries all over her body. She said sometimes if she even looked at him wrong, he would knock her in the face. So he was very temperamental and moody at times. And also she said she was shocked when Diddy introduced her to these freak-offs. Diddy liked to watch his partners sleep with other men. She said,
sorry, it's getting bright here, but she said that the freak-off started like within a few months of them dating, so very early on.
That is how he got his rocks off, right? So he wanted Cassie to do that. And at the time, Cassie was young, she was inexperienced, and she didn't really open up until Diddy gave her some ecstasy. And that's when she got lured into the freak-off lifestyle, okay? Now, some people would argue that she was complicit because she picked the escorts and she oftentimes paid them, but she claims that she did it under Diddy's instruction. And at first, Diddy was the one who was picking the escorts, but then he...
Who want to do this? Who want to get ran through by multiple men on fucking Backpage and shit? That's where they would find them, okay? Backpage, Craigslist. All right, who want to get rammed by all of these male escorts all around the world? She said they would have these freak-offs weekly, like for years. Who would want to do that? He would make her do it on her period. Okay, there would be blood all over the room. Who wants to do that? She said at one point for one of the freak-offs, she was like laid down and both Diddy and the other escort was peeing in her mouth. They both were peeing in her mouth at the same time. She was choking on the pee. Who would want to do that? Let's use common sense. Clearly, she was the victim in this. Y'all are just stupid. That is wild. You choking on pee? Gagged. I was gagged hearing these details like, oh my God.
Gave her the task to do it. And she would have to find them off of Craigslist or Backpage, and Diddy would have to approve. But Diddy was really the one who was orchestrating all of the freak-offs. He was the one who set up how he wanted it done. He was recording her. There was like tons of blackmail footage that they both recorded. And she claims that she didn't really know how to refuse the freak-offs because she didn't know how Diddy would react. Diddy was moody. He was temperamental. She was scared that he would get mad or violent. And she also didn't want to be rejected because in her mind, she was in love with him. So it's clear that she had some form of Stockholm syndrome. The freak-offs were humiliating. It made her feel disgusting. She actually broke down in tears when she talked about it. She was always drugged up when she did the freak-offs too. She was always either on ecstasy, coke, or mushrooms, and she drank alcohol, and she would be doing freak-offs for days at a time. The longest freak-off session was like over 4 days, and she had to take coke to keep her going. Like, it was a lot. And Diddy loved to see Cassie get peed on. He liked the escorts to pee on her. And not to mention, he was obsessed with baby oil. He wanted Cassie and his escorts glistening in baby oil. Cassie said they used 10 bottles of baby oil per freak-off session. And one time, Diddy had Cassie get into a pool full of baby oil. It was just crazy.
A kiddie pool.
Her testimony was really intense, and she has more testimony left. She will be cross-examined by Diddy's defense team, but as far as I'm concerned, Diddy is cooked. Now, I do want to talk about this because some days ago, the R&B singer Al B. Shore revealed that he believes that Diddy was behind his medical crisis that almost ended his life. He thinks Diddy tried to take him out. Now, if you don't know, back in 2022, Albie Shore collapsed and fell into a coma for 2 months, and he suffered from multiple organ failure. And it really is a miracle that he was able to make it out alive. But he got a liver transplant and he recovered, and now he's alive to tell his story. And he is dropping a tell-all book called Do You Believe Me Now? And he is alleging a lot of things. And he is saying that Diddy tried to take him out because he was about to tell it all.
I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me.
I think it's also interesting that, you know, his son, which is Quincy, he was at the trial too, I'm pretty sure. So he's like in support of Diddy. So I don't know what his relationship is with his, you know, biological dad, but yeah, very interesting.
Ahead, there was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive.
Albie Shore also believes that Diddy might have been behind his ex, Kim Porter's, death. It was widely reported that Kim passed from pneumonia, but there are some people who don't believe that. There are people who believe that Diddy had Kim Porter taken out because she was about to write a tell-all book about him.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, you know, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, you know, kind of warned me all along the way to, you know, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing.
So this once again adds fuel to the theories that Kim Porter did not pass from natural causes, but she was actually unalived, and allegedly unalived by P. Diddy. Now, we don't really know if it's true, but the fact that Albie Shore is kind of, I guess, vaguely hinting at it, it does make me wonder, you know? But anyway, tell me what you...
This shit is wild. This is wild. She didn't give the gritty details, okay, about the pissing in the mouth and the skeet on the... She didn't give all that, but Armand is over there giving it up, all right? He giving all the tea. Like I said, y'all go check out his lives. They're long, though. I mean, I'm not going to react to them. They were really long. But yeah, I've been keeping up with them or whatever, you know, especially in between travel days. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm just like, what? Getting all the tea. So crazy. And yeah, we're going to see what else gets revealed, but there's a lot more to this that we don't know. So that's what's making this case so interesting. But apparently he has like a really strong legal team that's really fighting for him. So, you know, everybody, you know, think, oh, he for sure gonna go down. Like, obviously, we got on tape what he did. That's not what he's on trial for. He's not on trial for putting his hands on Cassie. He's on trial for, you know, these sex trafficking claims and whatnot. So, you know, there is a chance that he might get off. We don't know. This is not an open and shut case, apparently, from what I'm hearing about the details in court. But yes, wild situation. I will definitely keep up to date on what's going on, and I'll keep y'all up to date as well. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.